How many people were working on the coloring, keyframing, and betweens? Hi there, my name is Mar and I founded animation studio in Japan. Today, we will continue talking about the glass gate and the production I'm doing regarding to that. Now, usually in our studio, we work on commission work, which means that producers, like music producers and film producers, ask me and our studio to make like animated clips, animated videos, storyboards of like of shorts or like highlights, things like that. But sometimes I work a bit on originals. And in this case, today I will not be exactly working on original. It's more like authorized fan art. My friend made this book, Retelling of Cinderella. It's like a fantasy romance novel, beautiful. And what I did is that I read the book multiple times and I selected one part for which I wanted to turn into a short animation. I created the storyboard, it's all drafted, but there's no budget for it, it's something original. So, what I will do today is I'll tell you what is the process I made. And after I describe what I've been doing up to this point, I will continue live. So in this case, most likely deciding colors, something like that. So we're in the production phase. I printed the part that I wanted to create in a storyboard. Now the thing is, I printed chapter 7 and a bit of chapter 8, I believe it is. I didn't just want to create a storyboard animated version of these like two chapters. I wanted to modify it in a way that anyone who watches the animation later, anyone who watches this like video of like drafted animation, even if they haven't read chapter 1 to 6 before this scene happens, this set of scenes happen, they still understand what's going on. I modified it, some dialogues, I modified some things, so it could work like as a teaser. So what I did, first step, print the script, have the goal, like what do I want to do, which is a storyboard. Now, when I was reading the script, you will see some color coding. So what I did is I took like in pencil ideas, then I marked in this case, pink or red. I noted things that were visual descriptions. So for example, Amber pulled out a pale purple dress. So pale purple dress. Okay, so this is a design note. Layers are purple chiffon. Okay, what's the textile that they're using? What's the vision that the author described? That doesn't mean I will not add creativity to it or change anything, but I need to know like what's the things that readers of the book will then want to see. Yes, so I took first these notes on the visuals, and then I selected other things, in this case in blue, feelings and emotions. So the character is telling to herself, like, I'm never going to pull this off. Like, she's nervous about the situation that's going on, or like, but yeah, so basically that first thing. I take my notes everywhere. The second step is to draft an actual storyboard. For now, I have my huge notebook. This is my drafted storyboard. It's in pencil, so I can erase and delete, and usually work in big pages because then I can put a lot of thoughts and then I can add more. So, for example, maybe I did this big three and then I added a bit more, and this is I think I love the most of making animation, like trying to like getting the script and thinking how will we put that into camera. Like storyboarding is really one of my favorite things, like this, and it's so hard. It's incredibly hard. That's why usually I would do this, like block a whole day to like a whole week maybe for storyboarding, and this was for a 5 to 10 minutes thing, right? Once I did my first like brain, okay, I think I will do it like this, I go through a huge checklist, and the checklist is something like, give me a moment. Once I made the first like storyboard, I just like take out all the information in my head, I try to improve it by asking me a bunch of questions. Like, for example, all the characters all different? Like, they have different ways to express themselves, different expressions, different dialogues, right? Other things that I will check is like show like I'm just reading in it's like show more magics and wonder, like trying to add more visual things that would help create better world. Twist the cliches, like I'm checking, okay, am I using cliches of like in the expressions or how they express themselves? Like I have many more notes, like okay, design ideas like Celtic swirls, dynamic compositions, and moving the camera around. So all these notes, like all each of these things that I've been mentioning, I will go through the whole storyboard and decide, okay, now focus on checking that the character is charming. Hello, so storyboard. Oh, we should maybe the character should blush here. Okay. So here's the second part. Like improve that storyboard, like just in that drafty version. Then I check my books. I have a bunch of storyboarding and script film books, and I have marked some things from them. So like highlighted parts, things with post-its, and I will check that to see if I can improve again my storyboard. Like they will mention things like what I just listed and other things that I want to check. Very important note: shrink if I can. If I can make it shorter, better. Many things obviously need more time, but I have a tendency to over explain and over add complication. So noting that I have this tendency to overcomplicate, my note is shrink. All right, so that was for the fixing the storyboard, right? It's still on paper. Okay, so after fixing the storyboard, what I did was design phase. Now, before even starting the storyboard, I did a bit of design. So, main character, who is half Canadian, half Japanese, and but I never intended it to be like super anime style because I knew I wouldn't animate this as a traditional like television animation. Like the idea was that I would create a storyboard and maybe color it very simply. Then I went into the second phase. Like this is something I think I did while I was still storyboarding to give myself an idea and take out the idea from my head. Then I went through this. I know that these three characters, so the one in green, the one in red, and the one in dark blue, have Irish inspired names or Irish names, and they're like Declan, Sorsha, and Tiernan. But I don't know if it's Tiernan or Tiernin, the pronunciation, and she's Ella. Then I went to, after I did this, I went to, when we were testing logistics to restart streaming this year, I added more detail and we did this even better. I'll show you the one with the layer. So we colored the characters. I decided a bit of a color scheme. I also decided the colors for the scene, which are that the scene is set on dawn. It's still not cleaned up as you see, but it's very easy to understand how the characters will look like. After that, it was the moment to digitalize. So basically, what I did is okay, so this is version number one. Okay, the first thing I saved, and I just started putting it into a computer, right? So this is the step on digitalization. You're seeing scene one. That's all I will show today, most likely. What are the action audios seen on the right? Okay, so action would be for, okay, let me show you. This was version one. Let me show you version six of the same file. So that was version one, right? As you can see, like here you see in the below part, it's like, it's a bit of, I made it as if it was an animation basically. So as the timeline evolves, we have different drawings. And version six, give me a moment. As you see, we have so many more drawings. So audio, I will note things that will be heard by the audience. In this case, dialogue, Amber says there, that will cover the human ears. In terms of action, it's it describes what's happening on the scene, or things like are not drawn there, or just to clarify what's going on. So there's different types of storyboards depending on the industry. Like if it's like the Western industry, the Japanese industry, different studios have their way. In our studio, this is how I do storyboards. They're page by page. I like when you draw the camera to see the angles. Very nice way to do things. Thank you. It's very helpful. So that's the digitalizing. So after I digitalize everything, I will do another check. And that is look for repetitive expressions, look for repetitive frames. I'm trying to set like one cut, one idea, time notes, like make sure that there's like time for silence, time for mystery, time for the emotion that needs to be there. Now, I'll show you something else. Okay, so for the animatic is a video storyboard. Basically, is when I put everything, those images that you've seen, I put them into a video, and then they have their own timing. So, as you see, 6 minutes worth of trailer. That's very long. Animatics may have sound. In this case, I made all sounds through notes like text. So now the texts are on screen. And in this case, the storyboard is something that I show to the author, so it needs to be already. It's not just something that, as long as I understand, it's fine. It's something that someone else can see it. I spoke this conversation like this text myself to time them right on the subtitles. I will have like the sound effects on the top and dialogue in the bottom. The dialogues have different colors, so it's easier to know who's talking. Now, what I want to do with this animatic, I showed the author, and I was like, okay, so do first like how do you feel about this? Are the characters like very like maybe off? Because obviously it's a fun animation in a way, but I since the author is checking it out, I wanted to make sure that nothing is like super out of character. On the contrary, that this would be something that then the author feels proud sharing and using as a trailer for the book, right? So for example, here we have like the logo in the end of the trailer because I wanted to show. Now, what is next? I spent 1 hour just explaining what I did to create this. And I think instead of working on it today, I think it makes sense that I explain what's coming next. And then maybe in another stream, I'll actually work on it live. And still, like, we have a lot of streams coming, very interesting with guests, with other subjects, and so on. But if I continue this on some other stream, let me tell you what's coming now. Okay, so what's next? This was pre-production in terms of like script storyboard. This is how you decide what will be on screen, right? But there's still a lot to do in design, like voices things, for example. Something I would love for this project is that okay, so basically there's no budget, right? Like this is something I'm doing for myself and I need to also support the studio and myself. So something I would like maybe help from the community is to get some funds so I can freelance some voices for the actors. Otherwise, this video would be up on YouTube without music, without sound, without anything. Like I'm okay with adding detail to the characters, like painting them very simply, sketching them better. So when we export the video again, it's much more beautiful. Not a finished animation, no, but each one of these drawings that you're already seeing are much more detailed and consistent. Like this would be a very beautiful background if it was completely finished, but at least, add some color to it, add some more definition, like, okay, like these are rocks, these are trees, like, so this part graphically, I can do it if there's no rush slowly, but something I cannot do myself is like the voice of the 6 characters in different accents and voice registers and so on. So I would love the support for that. Okay, so that's one of the next steps that I had in mind, which is the voices. Something else that needs to be done still would be deciding colors. Now, deciding colors for the theme. So basically, I want to. Ta-da! So another step is to take the key scenes of the storyboard and decide the values and decide the colors we'll use. So these are like some options I was thinking about. But in this case, I got a new book that I really liked and I wanted to practice it myself. In the past, I used to do this anyway. So basically, I got this book in Japan. Let me, there you go. And it is things like that. So I was testing with this book and then getting like the palettes that I will use in the different scenes. And then with that, I can decide better the colors of the characters. And once I have a better feeling of the colors, how many colors we need, which are the key colors, I will continue the character design and set the style. Because this was started last year, and I'd like to finish it someday because it's beautiful. It's a very, very funny trailer and a very funny scene that I really want to see on. My wishes apart, this is what's next. And then I noted some ideas like, okay, white tile, stone with golden mixer. That would be cool, right? Luminous white spring garden, lotus river inside here. Glass gate reflects sunlight to the garden as a rainbow. That's what you're seeing here, more or less, of what I was trying to do. Then set design, and then I can start like cleaning up storyboard, like drawing by drawing. How many people will be working on the coloring, keyframing, and in betweens? If there's no budget, only me. Like there will not be even keyframe or in betweens in this case. So if this was a longer production with a bigger budget and with an actual budget, the resources I'm using, obviously I'm spending money, I'm investing in this project because I'm living on doing it so far on my own. There's nothing else. So other than these few times every X months that I can dedicate to it, there's nothing. However, if there is an interest for me to create this and some people wants to put more money into it, I'm not making money out of this project because as I said, it is a sort of a fan creation. I know the author, but we're not trying to make money out of it because it helps bring awareness of the book, but I'm not earning money from it. But however, if people would like to donate to this project, then I could invest into the voice actors and would be another 6 people technically. Then it would be really awesome to have like someone help with the backgrounds. In this case, it's a huge project. It's like 5-6 minutes. If we really wanted to animate it in like movie or television style, it would be a lot. Thank you for following. Happy to have you here as a follower. Okay, so I think that's what's coming for this project. So I think Eugenio already shared like the links like to Patreon people and so on. But anyway, I don't want to push anyone. This is if you want and if you can help, I'd be happy. I would be very appreciative of the support. But that's it. Um, it already supports that you're watching videos and like you're already supporting many ways just by being here and just I don't know like a video, viewing it, commenting, things like that is already a lot. And it makes everything much more fun for me too. Thank you very much for watching today. Thank you very much for all your good questions. I hope you enjoyed it. To introduce myself again, my name is Mar. I founded an animation studio in Tokyo, in Japan. Yeah, so we have various projects, mostly commissions, a few originals when we can, or we really need to sort of do that. And I appreciate very much you watching. I appreciate your support by just like being around. Really, it already helps having you on stream and interacting. Anything else to say? I guess I will be closing stream. Goodbye and see you in the next one.